You know, a judge in the Delphi, Indiana murder case has recused himself. Didn't give a reason, but earlier he ordered the suspect, Richard Allen, to be moved to a state prison for security reasons. Authorities had warned that Allen was in imminent danger and said that the officers keeping him in custody didn't feel safe or protected either. Remember, he's the one accused of killing teenagers Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017. Back to the judge said that the public's bloodlust for information is extremely dangerous. State police announced last week that the information about Allen's arrest was going to remain sealed for the time being. The next time that Allen goes to court's in January. Now, police and court officials in Delphi say that their families are being threatened. Their families are being threatened. HLN investigative producer Barbara McDonald has that angle.
He's investigated the most terrible crimes, solved the most mind-boggling cases.
Paul, you cracked the Golden State Killer case.
But there are still nightmares to end.
This has the possibility of being a solvable case with modern technology.
I'm Paul Holes, and this is Real Life Nightmare.
Real Life Nightmare with Paul Holes. Special 2-hour season premiere begins Sunday, November 13th at 9, only on HLN.
You know, officials in Delphi, Indiana are revealing more about how police department sketches helped them catch the suspect, Richard Allen. Remember, he's accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017.
I've always said that the two sketches are simply sketches, they're not photographs. It's a piece of an investigative puzzle. And when we're all done with this, we're going to be able to meld the two of them together. And we're going to find an individual. That's what happened.
No bond has been set for Allen. He has been transferred from the county jail to a Department of Corrections facility, and authorities say that is for his safety. But there's more. Authorities also say the public's appetite for information from the case is also dangerous. Investigative producer Barbara McDonald. So one of the authorities used the word bloodlust.
That's right. That was the judge in the case. Both the judge and the sheriff are citing the high-profile nature of this case, creating safety and security concerns, not only for Richard Allen, but for everyone involved in the case. And the extensive media coverage is feeding that. Now, the judge, so yesterday, the sheriff asked the judge to take Richard Allen from county custody and put him into state custody for his safekeeping. The judge agreed with that, and in the judge's order, he wrote, "The public's bloodlust for information before it even exists is extremely dangerous." Now, the emphasis here is how the judge wrote this out, all caps. All public servants administering this action do not feel safe and are not protected. And as you mentioned, Robin, Richard Allen was removed yesterday from county custody. He is now in the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections, where I imagine he'll stay for the duration of his trial.
Any behind-the-scenes talk about what led the judge to say that?
Well, the judge did reveal some more in that order. Later in the day, he did recuse himself from the case, so he is no longer the judge in the case. But while he was the judge, this is what he wrote, talking about just the intense interest that his office is receiving. "It is known that YouTube already hosts content regarding family members of this judicial officer," meaning the judge himself, "including photos." That had to have been a scary moment for him to find out that his family was already being made into content on YouTube. Now, the Indiana Supreme Court got involved immediately when he recused himself. They have already appointed a new judge. That is Fran Gull. She is from Fort Wayne, and we do not know if the appointment of a new judge has any impact on the calendar in this case. There was a hearing set for later this month and another hearing, well, actually the trial in March. So we don't know if that's still on.
And we don't know the reasons that this is happening, but it does make me wonder about, would it not feel this way if there wasn't a seal on the information?
But that is
their right to do that for protection for the facts before the case is done.
There is tremendous interest, and it definitely seems that the county wasn't quite ready for the amount of interest that this development with an arrest has brought them. And it is a small community. Delphi has fewer than 3,000 people. The entire county has only about 20,000. So we're talking about a very small area. They've never had to experience anything like this before.
And let us be clear that people trying to do their job in a case, you wanting information does not legally equate to the right to threaten somebody who's trying to do their job.
Exactly. And the prosecutor has said we will get all of this information in due time as the court process plays out. He's asking for people to be patient.
Okay. One more question. And that is, okay, so Richard Allen, did they go into the threats that he's receiving, or they just felt that he's unsafe in incarceration?
Yeah, they didn't specify any specific threats against him, just talked about because of all of this interest, he is unsafe, as well as all of the other people working the case are unsafe.
Yeah. And the double-edged sword is that because of the interest, remember they thanked the media for keeping this on the front burner so that they could get information from the public in the case. So it's a double-edged sword. And now they're saying the information has led to a bloodlust.
Yes, and they still want that information from the public. Any tips about Richard Allen or anyone else, they still want people to call with that information.
Okay. Barbara McDonald, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.